Live from London, this is BBC News. Israel's military releases new video showing the moment when the underground bunker of Iran's supreme leader was hit in Tehran. US and Israeli airstrikes continue. Residents in Tehran tell the BBC last night was the worst so far. These are live pictures from the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Israel's armed forces intensify their bombing campaign in the city's southern suburbs. A second charter flight to bring UK nationals back from the Middle East has departed from Oman. And Qatar warns the war could bring down the world's economies, with the price of oil potentially rising to $150 a barrel, according to its energy minister. Hello, I'm Annita Mcveigh and welcome to our continuing coverage of the war with Iran here on BBC News. Let's take you straight back to the live pictures we have coming to us from the Lebanese capital, Beirut, where smoke still rises on the skyline of the southern suburbs in the city. Now, this is probably the fourth or fifth big strike, big explosion that we have seen in the last 30 minutes or so as Israel continues its offensive there against the Iranian-backed group Hezbollah, which is known to have its stronghold in those southern suburbs. Israel had warned residents of the area to leave, and tens of thousands of people, it's reported, have indeed done that, but many of them are living outside with nowhere else to go. Now, we are hearing that the chair of the NATO Military Committee has convened a virtual roundtable with all 32 NATO chiefs of defence to receive a briefing on the evolving situation in the Middle East. And as well as what's happening here in Beirut, we heard a short while ago from the IDF, the Israel Defence Forces, that it has launched a 15th wave of strikes on the Iranian capital, Tehran. Now, in the last few moments, we are also hearing from President Trump. Let me bring you an update on what he has been saying on Truth Social. He says there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader, we and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better and stronger than ever before. President Trump continues to write, Iran will have a great future. He says, make Iran great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, as he often ends his post. That is what he has written. Interesting to note, and let me just repeat the key points from that post by President Trump. There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. And he talks about the selection of a great and acceptable leader. Now, yesterday we heard President Trump say in a round of interviews that he wanted to be personally involved with selecting whoever the next Iranian leader would be. And we have heard from the Iranian government how unacceptable that is to them. We don't know what remains of the Iranian government, but Iran is still continuing to attack countries across the region as the US-Israel war with Iran enters its 7th day. The Iranian Red Crescent says more than 1,000 people have been killed in the bombing campaign so far. As I was just mentioning, in the last couple of hours, the Israel Defense Forces have released this footage. They say 50 Israeli Air Force fighter jets bombed the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's underground military bunker beneath the Iranian regime's leadership compound in Tehran. We don't know exactly when that bombing took place yet. Iranians living in the capital have told BBC Persian that last night was the worst night so far as Israel launched more strikes. Now, the IDF also say they have carried out a wave of strikes on the Lebanese capital, Beirut. This was before these latest strikes, which we've been seeing in the last half hour or so. And Iran, meanwhile, has launched attacks on Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Bahrain. And this comes as Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian posted on X to say that some countries had begun mediation efforts to end the war. And we heard there from President Trump in that Truth Social post. There would be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. Let's get you right up to date with this report from Joe Inwood.
Hell on earth, like a scene